Stay away from me. Good to see you.
How would you like to get my husband Gogan out of hot water? Believe me, he'll need all the help he can get to worm his way out of this one. To think he'd fall for the gang's scheme, ugh, I could kill him. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, and you look confused. Let me explain. The women in the gang use their wiles to lure men out to some remote location and rob them blind. It's been going on for some time now. The city guard hasn't done very much about it, because frankly, the men who are robbed are so embarrassed they don't want to report it. Take, for example, that good-for-nothing husband of mine, Gogan. He cared more about their charms than my own. When Gogan was, with the women, they took something quite valuable from him. No, it's not what you're thinking. He was carrying a precious family heirloom with him when he was lured out to their lair. It was a small ring given to him on our wedding day. The ring belonged to my mother and has been in the family for generations. I'm willing to give you all the money I have to get it back. 100 gold. Can you help us? Thank you. I'm afraid I can't offer you much help, but I'll do what I can. I hope the reward will suit the risk. It's all I have. All I can tell you is that the best place to start is at the Flowing Bowl. It's a tavern located outside the city walls near the waterfront. Gogan may be able to give you more information beyond that.
Hey, what do you want? See, my wife couldn't keep a big mouth shut. Yes, it's true. I lost the family ring to those sirens. I'm ashamed about the whole incident, but not ashamed enough to ask for your help. I was sitting in the Flowing Bowl when the most fetching Nord woman you've ever seen walked in with an equally attractive Imperial woman following. After we exchanged words, I followed them out to a farmhouse. Inside, they asked me to remove my clothes and items. Well, I did. And then suddenly they brandished weapons and robbed me. They sent me away with barely a stitch of clothing. Harlots. I'm merely a man. How could I resist? What a mess I've gotten myself into.
Do you want something from me?
How do you do? Talk to Faustina. She's got a proposition for you.
Never seen you here before. You look like you can handle yourself in a fight. And I'm sure you wouldn't mind making a little extra money. I've put together a gang. We make money by luring fools out to the middle of nowhere and robbing them blind. Our targets? Weak-willed men who are easily fooled into believing they will have their way with us. Oh, men are so gullible. I'll leave the decision up to you. If you want to join up, meet us at the Gredden farmhouse around 11 in the evening. I'll mark it on your map. I see you decided to take us up on our offer. Good. We could use another gal in the gang. Here's how it works. We case the Flowing Bowl for a likely subject. Namely, we look for a married guy who drinks a lot. Then we'll send you in there where you charm the man and get him to come out to some location we pick to rob him. When he gets there, we make him take off all his clothes, which is very easy, by the way. While they're helpless, that's when we spring the trap. So far, we haven't had to draw one drop of blood. The best part of the whole thing is that the men are so embarrassed they won't tell the guards. So, the bottom line is, you show a little skin, just a tease. No one touches you. What do you say? Well, that's never happened before. I suppose we'd have to kill you. I mean, we can't have you going back to Anvil and ruining the whole plan. Damn, I knew it. You're working for the city guard, aren't you? I didn't think they would be stupid enough to send someone alone. But so be it. Okay, girls, we got someone who doesn't want to cooperate. Look out. Can't you settle this easily? By the gods, there's a psychopath on the lip.
We had a feeling you'd be surprised when you saw us in our real uniforms. I see you have a puzzled look on your face. Ask away. Gogan and I are really members of the Anvil City Watch. I suppose you could say we work undercover. We've been trying to foil Faustina's gang for months now. Every time we tried to interview a man who was lured there, they refused to talk. The women in the gang picked married men to seduce for just that reason. It was decided the only way to stop this gang was to send in a stranger. You fit the bill perfectly. It's a shame it had to end in so much violence, but someone was bound to get hurt sooner or later. We'll clean up the mess. Don't concern yourself about it. I'm sure you had no choice. If you ever find yourself back in Anvil, stop by any time and say hello. Oh, and please say nothing to anyone about our true identities. You've done well, and here's the reward that I promised. Don't spend all the money from the reward in one place.
Hello. Welcome to Castle Coral. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Countess Valga of Coral. I wish I had time to chat, but I'm afraid I'm in the middle of an investigation. It seems someone has taken away an heirloom that is quite dear to me. I want you to help me recover a stolen painting. The painting was of my lost love, the Count Valga, and it has been stolen from my bedchamber. If you find the painting and bring the culprit to justice, you shall be justly rewarded. What say you? Very well. I suggest you begin to gather clues. And I warn you, do not accuse the wrong person, or I shall be quite cross with you. Here are some keys. They should allow you access to many of the restricted areas in Castle Coral. When you find enough evidence, confront the person whom you believe to be the villain and see if they will confess. I do not wish them harmed, as I want the thief to face justice. Your best bet is to speak to residents of the castle. Once you have found out all you can, search for physical clues. I was elsewhere at the time of the robbery, and the chamber was locked. The only other people who have had access to the chamber and were unaccounted for are the court mage, Chanel, and the porter, Orgnolf. Good luck, investigator.
A pleasure to meet you again. My duties rely on watching no more than the throne and attending to visitors. But confidentially, I will say that Orgnolf has been acting a bit unusual. His abuse of drink has gotten worse lately. He has taken to asking for money from others to purchase spirits. A porter's wage does not befit his habit.
Yes? Huh. I don't remember seeing Channel or Orgnolf that entire evening. But then again, I stayed in my quarters most of the night. There was no point in going on my usual walk with all of the rain falling. As far as Channel and Orgnolf go, they seem fine to me. I only had a minor scrape with Orgnolf recently. I caught him drinking in the West Tower on the upper level. I told him if he didn't stop, I would tell the Countess. He just grumbled and agreed. He hasn't bothered me since. The night of the theft, I was in the Great Hall, having an argument with a delivery boy from Braville. It seems his horse lost its footing in the heavy rain we had that night, and the shipment of port that it was carrying slipped to the ground. Oh, the fall broke most of the bottles. He didn't want to claim responsibility, but I gave him what for and sent him away. After that, I spent the rest of the night in my quarters, reading.
Hello. You searching for something? Yes, I have heard that the painting of the Count was taken. I was unaware she hired an outsider to conduct the investigation. May luck be with you. The night that the painting was stolen, I was in the courtyard of the castle taking star readings. After a while, I decided to go into the dining area just off the Great Hall. I poured myself some wine and studied the charts I had made until it was time to sleep. From there, I went directly to my chamber and slept the rest of the night.
I'm Bitneld, the Curse Bringer, captain of the Coral Guard. What can I do for you? I'm sorry, I wasn't in that evening. I was making my rounds of Coral. The only odd occurrence lately was with Channel. I have seen her spending a lot of time in the West Tower. When I asked her about it, she said it involved her spell research. I suppose at the time it sounded good enough for me.
Any luck yet? Until your return. Are you accusing me of taking the painting? Very well. I confess to the crime. But please understand, I only did it out of the great love I had in my heart for Count Volga. It was I that painted that portrait. When the Count was lost, the Countess spent so much time with it that I became jealous. I had to have the painting back, so I decided to steal it, then hide it behind the painting in my quarters. I'm ashamed of my crime, but ready to face what fate has in store for me.
Oh, you have returned from your investigation, and I'm eager to hear the results. Whom did you accuse? I'm shocked to hear of Chanel's crime, as she has always been such a nice member of our court. But I see that your evidence is without question. She shall be banished from Castle Coral and stripped of her duties. However, I am not without pity, and therefore she shall not be jailed. But she is never to set foot in Coral again. Congratulations on a job well done. As a reward, please accept this bounty of gold and gems. You've earned it.
How
Farewell.
goes it?
What's this about?
Please, help me. Please, help me. Watch out.
6 hours later.
These stupid scamps are driving me crazy. Oh, thank you. I had a feeling buying that Daedric staff would be trouble. Now I'm paying for it with more than just some gold. A few weeks ago, a spell sword was passing through Leowin and heard that I liked to buy curiosities. He wanted to sell the staff you see me carrying. I eagerly bought it, knowing the value of Daedric relics. In fact, I was a bit suspicious when he sold it so cheap. His loss, my gain, I figured. After examining it for a bit, I noticed a small word carved on it in runes. Using a book from my library, I translated it. The word was nonsense. However, when I spoke it and held the staff, 4 scamps suddenly appeared. I thought I was done for. Strangely, they all just stood there. It didn't take long before I realized they were following me. I couldn't be seen in town with scamps following, so I decided to discard the staff. I can't explain it, but somehow I can't compel myself to actually let it go. This staff is obviously cursed. Now I'm stuck with it. I need you to get over to the Mages Guild and talk to a good friend of mine, Alvis Uvenum. She's the only one in town that I trust. I was able to get a message to her earlier, but I've yet to get a reply. If I go, then the scamps will follow and my secret will be revealed to all. Alvis is a practiced researcher. She's sure to have some good information for you.
Watch out!
Poor Rosentia. She's been trapped in her house for days. Frankly, the smell gave you away. You must have stepped in... Well, let's just say something that isn't pleasant. Just be sure and keep this quiet. If the other mages even knew that I was involved with Rosentia's new guests, I could get kicked out of the guild. Doing a bit of digging, I'm afraid Rosentia's been stuck with the staff of the Everscan. Nasty bit of fun by Shea Goroth, I'd say.
Well, geez, that's me.
The only way she can be rid of it is if someone willingly accepts it. It can't be discarded in any other manner. No one would buy that thing once it's activated like it's been. The only chance is to return it to its original resting place, Darkfathom Cave. Inside the cave, there's rumored to be a shrine to Shea Goroth. That's where the staff can finally be dropped, and the scamps should remain behind. I also learned that the staff makes the owner move much slower than normal. I suppose it's another way the creator upped the annoyance factor. Please, bring Rosentia this information at once. And if you can, help her. I think she's about to crack under the pressure, poor thing.
I was afraid you wouldn't come back. Oh, please, I beg you. Take this staff to Darkfathom Cave and get rid of it and the scamps forever. I can't fight, and who knows what's guarding the shrine. Plus, do you know how dirty caves are? It'll ruin anything I wear. Do this for me, and I'll reward you with another one of my curios I picked up a few years ago. A valuable ring. Are you ready?
Yes! Yes!
Here's the staff. As soon as you leave, the scamps will thankfully follow. Do be careful. I don't wish your death on my hands as well. I don't see any scamps or the staff. As promised, here's the ring. I bought it from a shop in the Imperial City many years ago for an ex-lover of mine. He ran off with someone else, so now the ring belongs to you. The owner of the shop called it the Ring of Eidolon's Edge. I think you'll like it. Farewell, and may you find your way home safely each night to a warm fire.